Cutting ties is never fun, and it is rarely easy. And Taurus, you find yourself in a circumstance now where you may even be impeded, your progress may even be impeded by what you had to do to get away or to move on from. There was some sort of entanglement in your life. Maybe even somebody that rescued you at one point, defended you, stood up for you, helped see you through the storm. But there was a sense of, no, you being left, no, you were left unattended. Either that or you were just lorded over. One way or the other, there was a feeling of isolation, having to figure your own way out of really difficult situations, thrown into the fray too fast, too quick into life, and being overexposed or hyperexposed to what could be the cruelties of life. All of a sudden this happens. Now, it could have been when you were very young, but it could be right now. A sense of all of a sudden feeling a great deal of burden and reality hitting you because there is no protection. There is no defense. There is no wall. And in fact, in some ways, not really realizing how protected you were until all of a sudden you were not. I think you decided through pride, but also through curiosity, pride and curiosity, to move on, to take a chance, to take a step in a different direction, a direction where nobody could help you. And good on you. Ultimately, however, you left a lot unattended to. You left a lot behind. There was a lot that you didn't realize was going on behind the scenes in order to maintain what you had. And now that you walked away from it, there's this reckoning. There's this realization. Holy crap. What have I done? What have I gotten myself into? But you needed the clarity. You so needed this change. You so needed to make these mistakes, or to be left in a position where you were going to be exposed. You so needed this dose of reality. You're excited. That's the truth. You're stuck, but you're growing. This is an experience that's helping you to grow. Now, there's a lot of traveling here. There's a lot of moving around, starting something new, taking a chance on something that is outside of what was your norm, outside of your safety zone where people could protect you. Why is this coming to pass now? Because you're growing, because you're starting to understand that there's a whole other world out there. And as you realize this whole other world, you're leaving the one you came from farther and farther behind. And there's a little bit of anger, displeasure, confrontation coming from somebody who really did depend on you to make themselves feel valuable. Entanglements, that's what I get. And I get you being assaulted in some ways. Probably verbally, but maybe physically. I hope not physically, but this sense of almost like somebody wanting to engage you in a fight just to engage you. these entanglements that won't release you don't want to let you go because it throws them completely into the woods all by themselves. It gives them a feeling of just being broken. But there's so much this sense of being pulled so many different ways for somebody else and never being able to actually look at. It's like they're trying to, in some ways, impede you from finding your own gifts, finding your own talents, finding your own strengths. And so they're constantly throwing things at you, more chores, more chores. I got this energy, maybe I got it for you. It's like that Cinderella complex of the Cinderella's evil stepmother complex of the reason why they're giving you all these things to do is not so they can improve you or strengthen you, but it's so that they could set obstacles in your way from you being able to move on. But you have moved on. Now it's emotional. That's all they've got left is a reminder of, I need you. Why? How could you leave me? Or look how bad things are for me. Come back and help. It's almost like this cry for help from somebody who feels stranded when really it's just to like suck you back and drag you back to a place where you don't want to be anymore. Listen, this is somebody else's job to clean up. Somebody who does not want to do the work. Somebody who hates cleaning up and taking responsibility for their own actions. This could be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, or have very prominent placements. But this is a sense of, in some ways, the compromised divine masculine right now. Having to take a look at things that they don't want to take a look at. This energy doesn't want to look back. It's not designed to look back, but now it's being asked to see, look what you've left in your wake. And the thing about masculine energy, it's not about men and women. The thing about masculine energy is it's always moving forward, and it doesn't look at the sides. It only looks in front of them. It doesn't look at the sides. It doesn't look underneath. And that's why they make so much progress, because they have like a sharp, razor sharp vision and focus. But at the same time, the expense that their focus is costing everybody else on the sides is huge. And there's some sort of comeuppance and reckoning for that right now. A very, very dark period for them. A lot of entanglements going on. And in some ways, you're entangled as well. But you've decided to get away from it. And the emotional entanglements that I'm talking about are basically their only way of really wrangling you in. But you want to move on. You're in a progressive, transformative time for yourself right now. Why? Because Uranus has been visiting you, your energy for almost a year, for the past year. I mean, it's intense, Taurus. It's making you do what you normally don't do, which is think outside the box and want to try new things and go different places and not be controlled. And in some ways, even rebel against the norm that you've established. And this is going to cause a lot of people to be angry with you because they so depend on your consistency. And your consistency is not existent right now. There's maybe being reckless or reckless with spending, or really starting to rein back and see the responsibilities or consequences that come from reckless spending. But there's also a sense of wanting to invest in things that you normally wouldn't, finding an interest, especially in yourself, right? Just learning new things, being curious in ways that you weren't before. There is a sense of you wanting to get away, leaving, traveling, getting away to improve yourself, to illuminate yourself and enlighten yourself. But in some ways still feeling stuck. I mean, in some ways we're all stuck, right? Because of quarantine. But know that you've traveled. You went a distance. And it's because you didn't want to cocoon or grow. You didn't feel you had the opportunity to cocoon or grow where you were. Your cocoon had to be built somewhere else. Because there's no way that you were going to be able to do it in this environment. And check this shit out. entangled, ensnared, constantly needing help, somebody that always needs help. Maybe you always asking for help instead of figuring it out yourself. Having no help. Being lost alone in the woods. Having to figure out your own. It's almost like you wanted to put yourself into this circumstance where there was no protection, domesticity, there was no help, there was nobody coming in, cleaning up after you or taking care of you. It was just you alone in the dark woods, and you have to like sink or swim, figure it out. You intentionally did this to yourself. You intentionally put yourself into a circumstance like what is it, David Blaine or David Copperfield, a challenge. You did it. You did it to yourself. And the reason is because you needed liberty from something else. From not ever being able to be your own person because you always constantly picked and pulled at. And not allowing, and your talents not being respected. But instead always having to sing to somebody else's song or march to their drum or be pulled in so many different ways that what it is that you really cared about always fell to the wayside, never got any attention. It's almost like all the people around you were ripping and pulling at you so much they didn't even know you, didn't even see who you were, because it didn't matter. What mattered was what you brought into their lives. Now, there's no more of that. You're okay alone. You're okay. You're traveling. You're leaving. You're moving on. You're flying by the seat of your pants. You're being more reckless than you've ever been, but you're basically, this is living in the moment. By this full moon, which is coming in 3 weeks, there's a sense of you actually leaving, walking away, finding a great sense of peace in not knowing what's going to happen next. And this person being left to clean up your mess, quote unquote, or being really bitter or feeling really angry, not wanting to clean this up. But it's almost a sense of, was it always your mess? Or was it the mess that they never wanted to handle, and now without you there, they have to clean it up? Because you're moved on. This is for you. You know that in order to have some personal growth, you've got to get out of this situation. There is just this tie. Could have been from childhood. This connection that almost maybe defines even lifetimes. But somebody that you are connected to and still need you. It's like they need you still. I'm telling you, Taurus, you got to break. This is your energy coming out, asking you to look forward. But it's wonky, landed on its side. So it's not so sure of itself. It's usually so elegant and graceful and so insightful. Now it's not. It's almost like it wants to see the side of things. It doesn't want to do things the traditional way. There's an impulse in you to not do things the traditional way, which is odd. Yes. Hold on. I dropped a card. Somewhere in your past, you got this strong, wild, crazy, relentless sense of self. This furious kind of energy to make progress, to make motion, to make waves, to move forward. Believe in who you are. You're flying right into your new life. Like a moth to a flame, but these are two, like a moth to a flame. This is also a past relative, somebody who's passed, a long gone relative. And I think it's because maybe the loss of them showed you what you could end up if you don't move on. There's like learning something from or being inspired by this ancestor that you lost, a loved one that has passed over, that is almost like you're like, I got to get going now. I got to do this now because I don't want to end up where they ended up. I don't want and they're coming back. They're communicating with you. When you see butterflies all around you, it's like they're here to push you forward. So that you don't end up, so that you change before it's too late. Now is a lucky time. Fertility, prosperity, growth. You could be welcoming a new child into your life as well. But there's this sense of just take the luck, just move forward, move fast, fast, quick. Like moving so quickly, you're not even really thinking of the consequences. And maybe you are leaving a mess in your wake. Maybe you're the one that's like taking off and not caring. It's like hands in the air, I don't care. But overall, this is a card of abundance and prosperity coming into your life, like doubling down on that energy. Nothing is wasted. This is Aquarius energy. Seeing the treasure in the trash heap. Seeing the potential in something that's odd and weird. You know, it's almost like, I'm going to say this, it's almost like the insider trading tip. It's like you took a chance on something that you knew inside. You had an inclination. You had an inkling that, yes, this is a good decision. This is a good investment. But nobody else did at the time. But oh my God, has it really worked out for you? Or it will really work out for you. So definitely go ahead. Happy birthday, Doug Denny. Jump in. Indulge. Take this chance. Take this opportunity. Because it's going to pay off. Believe in yourself. Plant the seeds now and prepare for the future. Okay, so this is what's going on, because this is why this came out in the future. You had the foresight now to know so make that investment, buy those stocks, buy that lottery ticket. This Taurus is your time to do it, because this is saying in the future, you had the foresight to know which direction to go in. Because you trusted yourself, and you're putting those seeds, you're planting those seeds now. And this is why we're all talking about plant those seeds around the full moon. That's coming up on October 1st. Because whatever is happening, whatever seed you're planting now, it's going to come to fruition. It's going to be something awesome. Now, this is Virgo energy. Could very well be you understanding, like, or seeds that you planted in the past really coming to fruition now, recognizing and seeing that there was a long-term, like a long-term change over here, a commitment to a steady progress. Freedom is yours. Also Aquarius energy, and think on your feet. And all this Aquarius energy is coming out because you know Uranus, like, rules Aquarius. So there is this thinking outside of the box has really helped you. And there's a sense of like, get outside the box again. You know, if you have felt stuck or restrained or confined or obligated to go along with tradition or status quo, don't do it. Break those chains. Liberate yourself from that crap. This is crazy chaotic energy. This is like open rebellion. Open rebellion against living a life that somebody else designed for you. Jupiter heads into Aquarius soon enough. This Aquarius is a Sagittarius energy. There's going to be a confinement that is released from you. Now, whether this confinement, I feel like it's a social confinement. But, it could very well be some sort of, it's a social confinement. It's a social expectation. You're about to be released from it in December. And the seeds that you planted toward that project, maybe you didn't even tell anybody about it. But the seeds that you planted toward that thing that sort of just possessed your mind, you couldn't let it go, it's going to take off. It's going to be very profitable. Oh. Scorpio energy. Remember when I said you might have kept this very close to your chest and not been revealing or telling anybody? This is almost like when you open up and tell everybody what's going on. Or when whatever was hidden or suppressed is suddenly exposed to you and revealed to you. And the way becomes extremely clear. Finding your voice and actually letting it out. Sometime around Scorpio season, the sense of just like almost coming out of the closet. Not, we all have closets, it doesn't have to be about your sexual preference. There's just that sense of like finally announcing it then. Not caring who sees. Saying something that you think really needs to be said because there's a flaw here that you're challenging. I'm not sure that you're openly challenging it yet. You will be openly challenging it then. But right now you're realizing it. You're recognizing it. You're recognizing the need for you to be the one to do it because honestly, you don't want to be stuck. You see what comes from staying in the same place for too long. 111, I just saw it. Awakening to truths. Awakening and realizing, holy crap, I was on the same trajectory until I decided to steer myself clear of that. And in some ways, you may still be on the same trajectory, but you're leaving. You're going your own way. You're prioritizing yourself, and somebody's going to be pissed about it, but ultimately, this is the best choice. Okay. Let's go into this angel messages. I gotta dig into this in tarot. And it's what I'm gonna do. You might have been helped along. You might have gotten help or partnership with in either an Aquarius or a Virgo. Think positive thinking has come out. Healing angel has come out. Faith has come out. Of course, I want to see the ones that aren't turned over. Archangel Uriel and surrender. A great spiritual transformation is currently occurring both in your life and our world. See, you just realized something recently about what was going on in the world. And your first inkling was to just go along with it because, hey, maintain the status quo. But now you realize, no, there's something wrong here. This is the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter, heart and mind unite in harmonious balance. Something was off and you got it. You saw it. So something that you're going to be doing or saying or revealing is going to help put that balance, reinstate that balance because the norm wasn't balanced. Surrender. There is no point in pushing the barrel up such a steep hill. Go back to the start. Surrender your expectations. There is an easier way. When the time is right, a new path will appear. So the time isn't right now, and you know that. But the time is right for realization and coming to a conclusion. And that's what you've done. You're getting comfortable with the reality right now yourself. And you're trying to think, because you almost know the backlash that's going to come from somebody that's not going to be happy. It's going to make things very messy for somebody else. But ultimately, they're lazy as fuck. Let it be messy for them. Because especially with Uranus in your house, in your sign, there's a sense of revealing this truth. A recognition or a realization. And you can't be a part of something that you know is down and dirty and dishonest. That's not you. Faith. Do not lose faith. The storm clouds will soon clear and the sun will shine once more. So you know this isn't the time, but the time is coming and you're waiting and you'll know. Positive thinking is vital in creating a healthy and abundant life. A positive attitude, along with positive beliefs and thoughts, are crucial ingredients for creating happiness. Don't worry, think love. You're not going to be hated for this. Don't worry. In other words, you are literally like trying, like you're thinking of the positive thought now of how can I present this in a way that will be digestible to people, that they'll understand that this is a good thing. You're going to take this time to do this. Healing angel, at this very moment, you are being bathed in gold, pink, and deep green light. Accept this healing. We, your angels, surround you with wings of love. You are eternally free, eternally fresh, and eternally abundant. Calming yourself. Them wrapping their wings around you and relieving you of this painful stress that's been racking your brain because you feel right now torn in two directions. You are not. Give yourself time. Go slowly with this. Allow yourself to accept what you've discovered. And then allow yourself to make the decision. You don't need these old ties, these old obligations. You don't need them anymore. You also don't need to uphold what is false just to keep a commitment or maintain a sense of loyalty. Because ultimately your loyalty has got to be to the truth and what's better for everybody. So that's what you're doing, and it's kind of what you're trying to figure out now. And the angels are around saying, think positively. And you'll find a way to put this in a positive light. It'll come to you. The messages will come to you. And the reason why you're feeling this is because there's an equilibrium happening right now. Mercury is in Libra. It is searching for both sides of things, listening to both sides. See, there's another side of something that you discredited. And now you're starting to hear it and listen to it and understand why it makes sense. And it's going to change your fucking world and set you on a path that's different. It's like that Palenko ball in The Price is Right. All of a sudden, boom, it goes the other direction because a truth was revealed and understanding came through. Just let yourself accept it. Know that you wouldn't have known it or realized it if it weren't for you to realize. This aha moment is meant to happen to you. Let's go into tarot because we already started a little bit of tarot. We got this a little bit. Let's see who that is. I want to get to the nitty gritty. That link is below. I'll talk to you guys over there.